Hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, one of the things that I love to do is use metaphor. And when I first became a hypnotherapist, I did lots of weight loss hypnotherapy to help people lose weight. And one of the things that was very popular back then, about 12 years ago, was a virtual gastric band. And it's almost like a virtual version of bariatric surgery. And the actual surgery has this kind of band around the stomach, which makes it smaller, which reduces appetite because the stomach is physically smaller. The virtual gastric band is like taking clients on a hypnotic version of that. So they imagine having the surgery, not actually having the surgery, but imagining it, and then acting as if their stomach is smaller. And that actually works for a lot of people because their body acts in accordance as if that belief is true. Now, I've heard a lot over the last 2 years about different forms of ketamine therapy. Now, when I was growing up, ketamine was described as a horse tranquilizer. It's a recreational drug, and all of those kind of things. But more recently, there's been a lot more research in the medical usage of ketamine linked to neuroplasticity. What this hypnosis session does is it creates a virtual ketamine infusion therapy. So there is no ketamine involved. It is the going through the process. And the client that I was working with was experiencing ketamine infusion therapy. They knew the process. They knew what it was like to have the catheter in their arm and the drip going in and the duration and their preparation and their intentions they would set. And what this did for them is it gave them a virtual experience to work alongside their actual ketamine infusion therapy. But the nature of this is that whether you've had ketamine before or you haven't, you could treat it like a hypnotic version of that. Now, with those kind of things, it's very, very good to be intentional. And I would say, what do you want the ketamine infusion therapy to do for you? For some people, they want it to help with a particular issue, and that might be an autoimmune issue. It might be some form of chronic fatigue. It might be there is depression and things like that. Now, this is hypnosis. This is not medical stuff. I'm not recommending ketamine therapy. What I would say is if ketamine infusion therapy or any ketamine therapy is of interest, the way to go about that is to do your research online, then have a conversation with your doctor or medical practitioner. What this is a hypnotic metaphor. And if you've wondered what the process might be like, well, then whether you've had it or haven't had it, this gives you a virtual experience, and it is hypnosis. Now, the suggestions link to the idea of being intentional and having changes. And for this client, it was about healing and having more energy and clarity. It may be different for you. So let me know in the comments whether you like this kind of virtual, let's say medical treatments like the bariatric surgery and this infusion therapy. If you do, I'll do more of it. But equally, if you don't, let me know as well. I always appreciate the feedback. For now, though, I want you to find a quiet, comfortable place, the kind of place where you're not going to be distracted or disturbed, and just relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of release. as if you're able to let go of any stress, any worries, any tension. Where each breath takes you deeper and deeper relaxed now. Find that rhythm of your breathing. Breathing in for longer. And as you exhale, allow that outward breath to carry on for longer than it normally would, so that each breath takes you deeper and deeper relaxed. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And the deeper you breathe, the more you release. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you could imagine walking on a particular route toward a clinic. And maybe it's a clinic you've been to before. Or maybe it's a clinic that your imagination would like you to go to. But I want you to imagine what it would feel like to walk. The rhythm of your steps. How you breathe when you walk. The freshness, coolness, or warmth in the air. And get a sense that there's no rush, no hurry. That you've timed this well. There is an appointment at a clinic, and you have plenty of time to walk there at your own pace. And maybe you're walking alone, or maybe there's a companion walking alongside you. Your imagination will decide what is true for you right now. But I want you to imagine you're carrying a rucksack filled with wonderful things to help enhance an upcoming experience. This rucksack does not feel like a burden. It feels like it's filled with useful things to take a good experience and make it better. And perhaps you can even picture the things inside the rucksack. Objects of warmth, of comfort, of intentional care. And each step toward that clinic is a step away from effort and a step toward support. And I want you to feel that your body already knows this walk, and your body associates this direction with healing, with intention, with possibility. And as you walk, imagine your nervous system settling down, calming, even before you arrive at that clinic. And then imagine arriving at the clinic, and perhaps outside, someone that you care for and cares for you is waiting for you. Or maybe They're already inside in the waiting room. I want you to imagine that as you walk through the doors of that clinic, it feels like you're passing a threshold, moving from intending to be somewhere to being at that very place. So imagine that you're now in the waiting room. Imagine sitting down. Perhaps imagine drinking a warm cup of tea. Perhaps you can imagine the sensation of the warmth of the tea in that cup in your hands and feel that it's grounding, comforting, that your companion is nearby and their presence is familiar, supportive, unforced. And notice how you don't need to explain anything. Just being here in the clinic together is enough. And sometimes in life and in the imagination, time can become distorted. Time can feel like it's slowing or speeding up. And your body understands that nothing is demanded of you here. You're just waiting to move forward. And as you sit, feel that nervous system dropping down to another level. That's it. And maybe breathing slows down or relaxation is enhanced. But give permission to let go, to really relax. You are safe and supported here. And imagine a doctor arrives. Maybe it's a familiar face or maybe someone new. But they are calm, competent, unhurried. And imagine they lead you through long corridors. There's the sound of footsteps, the rhythm of movement. And imagine every door in that corridor represents new possibilities. But you're choosing to be led by the doctor to a specific room. The doctor has the keys. And imagine standing there in front of the door with the doctor and your companion. And as I count down from 5 to 1, you will imagine the doctor unlocking the door, opening the door, and walking through the door, and you will follow. 5. Hear the sound of the key going into the lock. 4. The key is turned, and the lock is opened. 3. The handle is turned, and the door is open. 2. You all walk through the door, and 1, the door is closed behind you. The door's open because you are wanted and expected. You belong here in this room. And all 3 of you, together in that room, connect to a sense of optimism and positivity there in the treatment room. And imagine talking briefly about progress and dosage, connecting to a real sense of reassurance. And the doctor's words carry confidence, that this session will go well. And when the doctor leaves to prepare, you and your companion begin the ritual. And this is where something important happens. Through intention, you're not just preparing for treatment. You are creating a ceremony. Picture that blue fitness mat, the winter coat, the heated blanket, and then that cozy blanket with its texture, color, fabric, pillows placed with care, one for your head and one later that will gently relax over your eyes. And maybe you notice a particular smell from a particular wood, pine-like, grounded, ancient, a particular smell that lets you know that you are safe. You felt this way before, but from this point onwards, this smell will activate feelings of safety. You are safe. And notice how warmth gathers around you. Hot water bottles. Any coldness in hands or feet are just temporary, letting you know that a transition will take place in temperature as well in the neural plasticity of your brain. Cold won't be here for long because you have built a ceremonial nest. And in doing so, your unconscious receives a clear message that this is a place of safety, learning, and wonderful changes. Imagine hearing the doctor return, and imagine the position of the doctor in relation to you, perhaps there close to your feet, maybe your companion closer to your head. You feel supported, connected. Maybe you feel the area on your arm being cleaned. Maybe the smell of those swabs, making sure that area on that vein is clean. You are safe. Maybe there is a coolness on that area. Positive intention, this is professional. Imagine the vein is chosen, and imagine the catheter is inserted, secured gently. You knew it would happen because you were told. As you look up, notice the glass bottle, clear, transparent, and see the tube descending all the way down into your arm. Gravity doing the work. No force, no rush. And that flow regulator reminds you that this can always be adjusted slow down or flow increased. But just before the drip begins, you set an intention. And perhaps that intention is linked to a thought for the future, or connected to a message, a memory, a person, a feeling that connects you to something good. Something stable, something real, something human. And imagine the doctor starts the drip by adjusting that flow regulator. And perhaps for the next 20 to 30 minutes, the doctor is aware of what's happening, but is doing their thing, just as you do yours. Imagine perhaps adjusting headphones, placing that scented pillow over your eyes, adjusting a blanket. Warmth surrounds you. Music begins. Music and frequencies of theta rhythms and slow breathing. And now, you simply notice what you notice. Nothing to analyze, and nothing to control. And you may become aware of sensations. Perhaps the heaviness of your tongue, a drifting sensation, changes in perception of weight and lightness, of movement, balance, and equilibrium. Curiosity replaces concern. And underneath it all is a constant feeling, a signal that you can tell yourself now, I am safe. And you will already accept that to be true. And so your mind becomes more flexible, requiring less effort. But this is a curious learning state. And as you rest here, feel that your mind resonates with certain ideas, beliefs, and ways of thinking. That this treatment is enhancing your healing journey. That you are moving towards a good life. That your neural pathways are willing and able to change. Still connected to that foundation that you are safe and supported. That you know you can trust the people around you and the process. But you might also realize just how much you are connected to positive intentions, ideas, and frequencies. That your mind can learn and relearn whatever you consciously or unconsciously choose, because your unconscious already knows what changes are needed. give permission for your unconscious to make whatever changes your unconscious chooses to enhance that ability to manifest that good life, where you can be proud of your progress and also just how tenacious you are. Many would have accepted an idea, a false idea that nothing can be done, nothing can be tried, but not you. This right now is evidence of your resolve, that tenacious determination to find a way to open a previously locked door. And whatever happens, you will be okay. And these are not affirmations. They are recognitions. Your system already knows them to be true. These are just reminders. And sometimes under the influence of something that enhances that neural plasticity, an idea, a thought, an emotion or perception may arise because your unconscious needs to bring something from the unconscious into the conscious. Maybe it's an insight, an epiphany, a glimpse of a future, like a premonition. Allow whatever your mind wants to show you. No judgment, pure curiosity. And then gradually, imagine that glass container with the infusion completes. Gravity has done its job. Imagine that the catheter is removed. No more tube, nothing in your arm. The area is tended to. Your eyes are open. You adjust your body. And imagine warm tears poured. And feel the weight of that teacup in your hand, the sensation in your mouth, as you feel the infusions continuing to impact your mind-body sensations. And then imagine writing in your journal, not to capture everything, but just to echo and reaffirm those firing neurons, words, colors, fragments. Write them there in that colorful book. And then maybe you articulate impressions or experiences with your companion. And there is a lightness now, a subtle optimism, not excitement, but something steadier, something truer. And you remain in the room, maybe 30 more minutes, nothing else required. Your nervous system continues integrating. Connections settle. Positive connections solidify. And when it's time, imagine packing your things carefully. The blanket, the tea, headphones, hot water bottles all back in the rucksack. Shoes on, coat on. And as you leave the clinic, I want you to feel that this was useful. This was beneficial. This was meaningful. And without forcing it, you begin unconsciously, unprompted, to imagine a future. Not dramatic, and certainly not perfect, but a future of progress, a desirable future, a good life, possible. And now gently, on that journey back to your home, allow your mind to take you back to the here and the now. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, because very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. And you will awaken feeling like you've experienced something useful, beneficial, and meaningful. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.